Food Tube, Food Busker in the house, and we're here at the big Feastival. It's absolutely awesome. We've got the Renault van, and we're here with the special guest, the original rude boy, Amerigo, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, you're one of our 4 hero dads for the launch of the all-new Renault Kadjar. And what are you cooking for us?
Today we're making gnocchi with sausage, sage and chestnuts. I think it's a good homely family dish. It's quite quick to make, it's quite easy, and it's essentially potato and meat. So I think even for like little kids, they can probably get into it. So it's a good one.
Right, so what's the first step?
First step is to fry up some sausages. We've got this on a relatively high heat because we want to sort of brown the sausages.
And you take them out the skin?
I tend to, yeah, and then you can break it up, and if you're cooking that for quite young children, you just look out for ones that don't have any seasoning in it, so you can just get pork mince, or otherwise, you know, if you can't find Italian sausages, Cumberland is probably the closest one you'll get in the butchers.
And any Italian? You got?
I'm half Italian, yeah.
I can just tell.
Half Australian,
I can just tell.
Yeah.
So the family's from what part of Italy?
My mother was originally from San Giorgio, which is a town near Benevento in Campania. So yep, now we can probably chop up some shallots.
Okay.
Some garlic.
Garlic, how much?
Just I think 1 or 2 cloves.
And how do you want it?
Pretty fine actually, yeah.
Now, tell me, how did you get into this trouble with Renault?
My wife nominated me with my little boy. I mean, I'd like to say he did it, but he's only 9 months old, so I think he pressed enter on the keyboard.
I love it. Blaming your son already. So when you're not cooking in the kitchen, what are you doing?
I'm a lawyer, so I work for a law firm in London.
So what, and how do you fit food into your life though? Is it a key part, you know, do you need to cook every week?
I try and cook most nights. As long as you've got some stuff at home, you know, it doesn't take long to buy some stuff, particularly Italian food, it's pretty straightforward. You know, you can always cook pasta quite quickly. Okay, yeah, we throw that in. You could add some salt and pepper at this point, but I suppose if we're doing this for kids, you might not add as much seasoning or any. So now we're gonna put the shallots in, and you can probably turn it down a little bit, and we'll just wait for the onions to sweat down a bit, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I love the helter-skelter.
All right.
So now this is sweated down a little bit, we can chop up some sage, and at the same time I think we can probably put some chestnuts in, which we've got here.
Now are those chestnuts cooked already, or?
They are, they're sort of sealed. I mean, if you're in the season, then you can roast them for about 20 minutes in the oven and put them in fresh, but any other time of the year, these ones will do just fine.
Now how many people will this feed, Amerigo?
What we're doing here will probably feed about 2 hungry people, maybe 3 that are less hungry, or just me. Okay, I reckon we could probably throw that in. And I reckon now we could add some lemon zest.
A whole lemon?
A whole lemon. I mean, if you like a bit of zing, a bit of acid to it, then you can put a whole one in.
The sage is an aromatic, the zestiness of the lemon's kicking in there.
Yeah. Now I reckon we could probably put the juice of the lemon in a second.
Okay. So the whole lemon in?
Yep.
So just going to squeeze it into my hand to catch any pips that might want to escape. Oh, yes. Right, what's next, chef?
I reckon if we can chop up these.
Okay, cool.
That's a pretty cool way. I've never done that before.
So you could actually put it in with the vine, and the vine holds a lot of flavour, and then you just fish it out at the end. When you do a tomato sauce, if you snap the vine and drop it in, you really get a good, strong tomato vibe.
So now we just want to sort of let this just sort of cook slowly for a bit. So on a low heat, that'll be fine for 20 minutes, 30 minutes even. Nice. Now I think we can probably start on the gnocchi.
Cool.
Cook the potatoes for about an hour on 220 degrees in the oven. Just scrape out the flesh and put it into a potato ricer. You want to sort of work quite quickly while they're hot.
And why is that?
Well, I think it's just easier to roll it out.
So the heat kind of helps it all stick together?
Generally, yeah. 5, 6 medium potatoes, roughly a kilo for about 200 to 300 grams of flour and a couple of egg yolks. And
the ricer, could you use like your normal sort of masher?
You could use your normal masher. The reason why I like the ricer is because it gets it a lot finer.
Look at those guns.
There we go.
That's it, all core. It's all core.
So there we go.
And look, and it really does just blitz it, doesn't it? Beautiful. Yeah.
Can you get us an egg yolk?
How many egg yolks?
Let's go for 2.
Okay. And then what are the other ingredients that go in your gnocchi?
Well, I mean, you can use plain flour or semolina. I use a bit of both usually. So you add a little bit of flour at a time and sort of mix it together.
When it starts sticking together,
Sticking together like a dough.
And if it's too wet, you add a little bit more
flour. Add a little more flour.
If it was super dry, you might add a bit of egg yolk.
So now we've got this bowl. Just chop off a little bit of that, very, very gradually and very softly. Just roll that out with your fingers. When you can do it when it's quite hot, it tends to work a bit better. We can just cut one more off like that. So roll that out. There we go.
It's quite a calming mood that's descended on the shoot now.
I know, it's quite right, isn't it?
It's just beautiful. Okay, right.
So now we've just rolled these out. We'll just dust them with a bit of semolina and just roll them just so that they don't stick. You can freeze them, but you probably want to freeze them relatively quickly. And then once you've done that, then it's just a question of just chopping them.
These look amazing. I'm getting flipping hungry. What's the next move?
Well, all we're going to do now is just throw them into the water, and that shouldn't take very long at all.
So you just drop them into
Just
boiling
drop
water?
them in. You don't need to stir them because they'll break up. As soon as they rise to the surface, it shouldn't take very long, probably like a minute, 2 minutes,
Okay.
3 minutes. Once they float to the top, you just scoop them out and put them on the plate.
Right, I'm just going to turn your sauce up
Yeah.
and give it a stir.
Add a bit of nutmeg to it as well.
Okay.
That would be good.
So your sauce is beautiful and done.
So there's the gnocchi there.
Beautiful.
Bit of the sauce and sort of get that over the top.
Oh, look at that little bad boy there. Awesome.
I think that looks pretty good.
That looks amazing. And then you've got some crispy sage.
Just fry a bit of sage and olive oil.
How good does that look?
Put that on top. And then I think the only thing that's left is to grate a little bit of parmesan on top.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Amerigo's sausage and gnocchi Italian loving.
Woo! Yeah!
Get in.
Yeah.
There you go. That's delicious. The gnocchi sucks in the juices.
It's good having a bit of lemon as well because it makes it cuts through everything. I think it's quite nice.
It all really works. It's a dish that you've got to try. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I'm having a great time, yeah.
You've been brilliant. And it's just been absolutely delicious. People, see you next time. Woo!